4, 3, 2, 1, 0. First episode of new channel.
New channel, CTS Pop Culture.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I don't know if listeners from the old podcast are gonna carry, or not old, but the other podcasts are gonna carry over.
to be fair, we have like 15 listeners.
But if those 15 listeners come over here, and we get 2 new listeners, what if they're like, "Oh, what's this CTS podcast?" and we don't explain it for them? They're gonna feel left out.
Exactly. So this is a second channel. We started Cherish the True Seeker podcast because we wanted to talk about politics. And then we realized that we also like to talk about pop culture, fun. When The Mandalorian was coming out, we were talking about that a lot. So we decided we'd start a second channel to talk about that a little bit. So CTS Podcast is the main YouTube channel. Then CTS Pop Culture is this one. And on Apple Podcasts, it's just Cherish the True Seeker.
This is like the only fun version of the podcast.
This
The
is
other podcast is more
serious, a little more nitty gritty.
Yeah.
This one should be a lot of fun.
Other one's probably more interesting. This one's more fun.
Yeah, I was thinking for this we could do kind of a, since we're recording this on January 2nd, 2021, right? January 2nd, I think. We could do kind of a year in review for stuff that came out that we liked, and then stuff going forward that we're excited for in 2021.
Yeah. Stuff I like.
Stuff
I
you
liked.
Stuff you liked from 2020.
My favorite moments. Favorite moments like in pop culture or just in general?
Pop culture.
Oh, because it's the
CTS Pop Culture.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, obviously Mandalorian that's got to be up there, right? But I watched Clone Wars all the way through for the first time. That takes the cake. That's my favorite Star Wars creation.
Yeah, 2020 was a year where not a lot of new stuff came out. So I think you can speak to this, and I found myself falling a lot, like rewatching things.
Yeah, and season 8 of Clone Wars did come out this year.
Season 7.
Season 7.
Yeah. Season 7 of Clone Wars came out. I didn't go all the way back through Clone Wars. I watched season 7. I went back through and watched Rebels before Mandalorian. What even at the start of the year, I'm trying to think what stuff was coming out that we watched.
I don't even remember.
It was so long ago.
2020's gone by fast, but it's also been like the slowest year.
It's weird that it ended already, but also if you told me that it was actually January 2nd, 2020, January 2nd, 2020, not 2021, I'd be like, yeah, okay, fair. It's probably only been a day.
Ew. 2020 was gross. Let's see. My least favorite year, I think it was 2017. I hated 2017. 2018 was okay. 2019 was okay.
I hated 875.
What is that?
BC. I don't know. I just came up
What
with
was
a
in
number.
875?
I just came up with a number.
I hate your jokes. That's anti-humor. You know, we were talking about antimatter the other day.
Antimatter.
Yeah,
This is
that's the
anti-humor.
equivalent of
Yeah.
what you just said. 875 BC. Let's think about what was going on in 875 BC that you hated so much. I don't know, the evolution of mankind?
No, it was when Plato came up with the allegory of the cave.
Evolution of mankind was thousands of years ago. Tens of thousands of years ago. It was the what? The allegory of the cave?
You know what that is, right?
If you tell me about it, I probably will recognize it, but the name doesn't ring a bell.
It's like the dudes are in the cave, and the people show them shadows of stuff. They show them shadows of things, and they like have a competition where you have to like name the pick out the animal, like the shadow animal, and name it, whatever. And they're stuck in this cave, and then one of the guys gets out of the cave. He escapes the cave. goes out in real life, and then he comes back into the cave to rescue the other people, and he can't he can't recognize the shadows anymore. Like, he doesn't recognize them as the actual animals, and so the people in the cave kill him, even though he knows like what the real animals. He's seen the real animals and isn't fooled by the shadows anymore. And so it's kind of an allegory for like people will attack someone that's bringing truth if it doesn't fit with their
I could
kind
be a
of their
modern day
worldview.
philosopher.
I don't know about that.
I really could.
After
If
that
I-
last episode, that was rough. Okay.
I need to listen back through it because I really think Henry, not to sound like an egotistical fart, but I have some ideas about the universe that I think would blow your mind. Maybe not someone like you, some mere mortal with a set of pre-programmed algorithms, but someone like me, a normal person, a real human rather. I think I have some ideas that would really change the course of mankind, but I don't have a big enough platform to share those ideas yet.
And this was a teaser for CTS Philosophy. Coming next fall. No, just kidding. Okay. Pop culture. Sonic movie that came out
That was
2020.
this year.
Wasn't
sure?
it? I'm positive.
I think you're right because I remember there was this Adam Sandler. He like was giving an interview or something, and he was like, "How'd you enjoy Sonic? What was the last movie you saw in theaters?" And he was like, "Oh, I saw the Sonic movie. I caught Jim Carrey."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's weird. Onward from Disney. Harley Quinn. Not a lot
Never
came
saw
out.
Harley Quinn.
Tenet. I like Tenet. Did you ever see Tenet?
Mm-mm.
I went and saw it. I saw that in theaters. That was the last movie
Is
I
that
saw in
Christopher
theaters.
Nolan?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
new one. Yeah, that was a fun movie. A lot of people didn't like it because it was like Christopher Nolan loves to go just high concept with things, where he picks a concept and then builds the movie around the concept instead of making a movie that kind of leads to like the movie is in service of the concept, not the concepts in service of the movie. And Tenet was the epitome of that, where it was so high concept and just everything was built around it. It was fun though. I liked it.
What was that one movie? That other Christopher Nolan movie that was like weird like that. It was
a lot of
dreams,
them,
like
all of
different
them.
stages of dreams.
Inception.
Inception.
Yeah, Inception's a good one.
Yeah.
It's like Inception, but also more difficult to understand than Inception.
Ugh. Inception's a fun movie once you finally figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, 2020 there wasn't a lot to enjoy. Mandalorian was probably the highlight of new content, right? Or Clone Wars
No
season
Avengers
7.
content.
Yeah, Marvel took a whole year off.
That's weird.
Coming off of the smash success of Endgame, they went, you know what? We're just gonna take a little break.
No, Spider-Man, right?
Spider-Man did come after Endgame, but that was the last thing.
Oh.
That was
Yeah.
the last thing. And I think coronavirus kind of in a weird way helped them because I think they were planning on taking a break anyways. A
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
And
Hasn't helped Disney in other ways, but
yeah, I think in the long run it might help them. But
I mean, Disney Plus is gonna be a smashing success.
they have
you used their app at all?
the Disney Plus app.
Yeah, it's kind of a crappy app.
Really?
Like HBO Max has a way better app. Disney's is like really funky and janky.
I've used that like Apple TV app.
That one's okay. You
But-
should see the mobile app. It's like, who made this?
I've used it a little
4-year-old?
bit, but want to hear something crazy? So Soul, the new Pixar movie, came out on Christmas. Wonder Woman 84 came out on Christmas. Soul gained Disney Plus 5 times more subscribers than Wonder Woman 84 gained HBO Max.
I heard that movie was
5 times
crap.
as many. Which movie?
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I
I
heard
heard
people
Soul
didn't.
was
I
good.
I didn't watch it. Yeah, Soul was good. I watched that one. I liked that one a lot. That I mean, in the limited run of movies this year, that was probably one of the better ones. Wonder Woman 84 though, I heard was just not good. Which was weird because the first one was good. I liked the first one a lot. And then Patty Jenkins is solid. It seemed like all the pieces were there to have a good movie, and then it just didn't come off.
Warner Brothers are so weird with their superhero movies. They're kind of bad. For the most since Batman, since not even Batman. I'm talking back to what's his face?
Dark Knight.
Yeah,
That's Christopher Nolan.
yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say rather. Dude, how good? That's probably my favorite. That's probably my favorite superhero movie, Dark Knight Rises.
I like that one.
And I'm such a Marvel fanboy, but Dark Knight Rises is
Yeah.
something else, dude.
Very good. I think, yeah, because they got like Batman v Superman was so bad, and then they did Wonder Woman, and
Which is okay.
I thought it was good. I would say that it was good. And then I liked Aquaman. I thought Aquaman was good. Shazam was fun. Shazam was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it seemed like they had kind of found their way, that with these more solo superhero movies
Yeah.
was going to work out.
What about Joker?
Joker's barely a DC movie.
Really? See, I've heard they're setting up, as much as they've said it's going to be a standalone movie, I don't think so. No movie grosses a bill and then is only a standalone movie.
Maybe.
Not to Warner Brothers.
That's true. But Joker to me felt like it could have been if it didn't have to be Joker. It didn't have to be associated with Joker, and it still would have been. It might not have made as much, but it still would have been a good movie. Because it wasn't about Joker per se, like the comic book Joker. It was more about mental illness. It was more about society. About it was more about different concepts than a traditional comic book movie to me.
Yeah, I agree. There was more of and there was a couple of like fan service moments in Joker.
Oh, the stupid Batman thing at the end that they threw in where they killed Batman's parents. It's like, what does that need to be in there? Come on.
That is weird.
But it does. I could see him doing something else with it because they said, Warner Bros. Said 4 like main like big comic book superhero movies a year. And then 2 like more fringe superhero movies a year.
What about the trailer for the new Batman?
I like Robert Pattinson in that a lot. Like, I think he's a really good actor. He was in Tenet. He was fantastic in Tenet. I think he's a really good actor.
But sounds like you're setting it up for a but.
Oh no, I was just gushing about Robert Pattinson.
That was weird. You're like I really like Robert Patterson, and that's it.
Well,
that's all you're gonna say. I really like. I thought the trailer was amazing. I mean, the song they played. It was who sung that song? Who's the band
remember.
that? I want to say it was Radiohead. I think it was Radiohead.
It's been a minute since I've seen the trailer.
It was so good. Oh my gosh, I got goosebumps.
It's gonna be really good. Well, did you hear? It was funny when stuff got back to filming, so everything shut down. Like nothing was filming, and then when things finally got back to filming, Batman had to shut down again because someone on the crew got coronavirus, and it turned out to be Robert Pattinson. He's the one person on the entire crew that got coronavirus, and it's like you probably can't shoot the Batman while Batman has coronavirus. Might not be the best. Yeah, I think that comes out 2022. What are you looking forward to in 2021?
The biggest thing I'm looking forward to, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of Marvel stuff that's coming out. I have to really get back into the Marvel stuff because ever since I really started getting into Star Wars, I've become less interested in the Marvel stuff just because I've become so dedicated to Star Wars. But I need to get back into that. I've seen like every single movie that's been released, but I need to go back and rewatch some of them. Like I've watched Infinity War multiple times. I think that's probably my favorite Marvel movie. And then I don't know, maybe the original Iron Man.
Winter Soldier's super good.
Ooh, you know what we should talk about?
What?
Captain America versus Iron Man. Who do you think is a? If you had to choose a side, whose side would you be on?
Iron
Please
Man.
answer this. Yes. Oh, we finally agree on something.
Yeah.
Finally, I can't stand Captain America and Captain America Civil War, and I can't stand that stupid what's his name, Bucky. I hate him. I hate his character.
So
I can't stand him. He's such a jerk.
I think they when they were coming up with that movie, and I like the movie. I think it's a good movie, but when they came up with the concept, they were like, okay, we need Iron Man and Captain America to fight, and they're like, okay, Iron Man freaks out at them, like gets mad at them, and then you look at it, and he gets mad at them because Bucky killed his parents.
Yeah.
Like Bucky killed his parents. I'm like, yeah, I think Iron Man's totally justified on that one to freak out.
And Captain America is just such like a pretty boy, follow the rules, do everything by the book. Like he's so annoying.
But that's the right. Civil War it's the opposite of that. Is the government wants them to say that they won't do like superhero stuff, like not regulated by the government.
Yeah.
And Captain America is like, no, we're superheroes. Like we should be able to do whatever. And Iron Man wants to kind of go with the government. And this is wrong podcast, but neither of us, I think, are huge fans of the government. So you'd think we'd side with Captain America, but it just, I don't know. In that one, I've always been like, Iron Man's right.
I can't stand the Winter Soldier. I hate his character. I hate
don't like
him
his
as
character?
a superhero. He's such a bad superhero. He should have he's just bad. Imagine him fighting any of the real superheroes. Imagine what would happen, Henry. What would happen if he started facing Hulk?
To be fair, I think there has to be a little bit of suspension of disbelief because, like Black Widow fought like Thanos.
Yeah.
Or Thanos's people. So I don't hate the winter. Like I love the Winter Soldier movie. It might be my favorite Marvel movie, but I do in Civil War. It is kind of a weird premise that there doesn't seem to be, because the point of the movie is to make you pick sides, right? You're supposed to pick sides. Whose side are you on? And to me, I can't sympathize with well, he did kill your parents, but he was kind of brainwashed, so you shouldn't be mad.
And like that last scene in that movie when him and Bucky are just beating up Iron Man.
They're kicking
his
butt.
What?
It's
like,
so
of course,
weird.
it's two of them. Like, what?
Yeah.
He's using a shield, and then he's like, my dad made that shield. And then Captain America throws it at him. I just hate his character. I hate Captain America. Just because, I mean, to be honest, like, I think that's when, I mean, obviously Iron Man was like the first he was my first superhero that I liked. Like, Iron Man has always been my favorite, but I just don't like Captain America that much. And I certainly don't like Bucky. I hate that guy.
Yeah, well, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is not the next Marvel show, but because coming up in, 2 weeks, we have WandaVision coming out. And then after that, we get Falcon and the Winter Soldier, then Loki, then What If, then I think that's the only 3 this year, or 4 this year.
Who did you say your favorite superhero was? I feel like we had the same.
So, I like Spider-Man a lot, but it's between Doctor Strange and Spider-Man.
Mine's Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
he's so sick. He's OP,
it's
dude.
Cool.
I hope they make him I hope they really show how OP he is in the new movie.
It's gonna be cool because I think they're really leaning into, and this is like spoilers for what's kind of the current speculation about what they're gonna do with Marvel, is that they're really leaning into like multiverse. like all the multiverse stuff.
Dude, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in the next Spider-Man.
Yeah, right. And
Oh my
Doctor
gosh.
Strange is called Doctor Strange of the Multiverse of Madness, and Scarlet Witch is gonna be in it. Spider-Man's gonna be in it. It's gonna be so cool. I'm so excited for that stuff. Yeah, it's so crazy that I don't know if you watched it, but that Disney Investor Day, when they announced all that stuff, I was losing my mind. I watched it live. I was in class. It was the review for a final that I probably bombed. But I was watching this Investor Day, and it was just like, okay, here's the Star Wars panel. Boom, show, 10 shows. Marvel panel. Boom, 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 10 shows. And then everything else, they announced like 50 movie, like 50 series / shows in the or series / movies in the next like 5 years coming out. That's insane. They're rolling the dice on Disney Plus, right? Is what they're doing.
Oh, for sure. I think they're betting against the movie industry.
I think they're
not the movie industry, but the cinema. What's the right word?
Like cinema, like movie theaters.
Yeah.
Like kind of traditional cinema. Yes, I think part of that is true. I don't know that they're betting against it. I think they're just that's where entertainment is going, is to more personalized. Like you can watch it at home, you can watch it on your phone. I mean, that's where it's been going for a long time. In 2013, George Lucas and Steven Spielberg did an interview where they talked about that, basically, that like going to the movie theater was going to be like a twice a year event for people, like more akin to a sporting event than it was to a like just going. Like you could go, there have been times that I've gone like multiple times a month to movies if a lot of movies are coming out. But so I think to a certain extent they think that's the future of entertainment.
You know, if I'm AMC Theaters, I would. It's so bizarre to me that you remember Movie Pass
Yeah,
that went out of business.
it was weird. Yeah.
Why haven't AMC Theaters or Regal Theaters incorporate? I mean, Regal's done it, but AMC has certainly been bad at it. Century has been bad at it. I wonder why those passes didn't start taking off. And I think it's because I think a lot of people that would buy those passes are probably like, it's just them that go to the movies, right? I think digital stuff that's digital and immediately available to you, I think that appeals to more people, especially single people, right? That don't always have someone to go to the movies with, or people that work weird shifts and they just don't have time to go to the movie.
Well,
I think that's the play.
Part of the problem too is that Movie Pass model just wasn't sustainable. They made the assumption that people wouldn't go to the movies, but you really only had to go to like one movie a month to get your money's worth. So if you were going to any more, you were just stealing money from Movie Pass. So all those theaters like Regal, AMC, like Century 16, they all have their version of Movie Pass, but
it's like 3 movies a month max or something like that, right?
But that's the thing, is any pass like that to make sense financially has to be like that. Movie Pass just ruined it for everybody because Movie Pass didn't work. Like Movie Pass was just hemorrhaging money the entire time it existed, and it just didn't work. So it makes it seem, when you look at it, you're like, okay, 3 movies a month for like, if movie tickets are $12 a ticket and I'm paying $15 a month, as long as I go to the 3 movies a month, that's a pretty good deal. But with Movie Pass, I could go to unlimited movies. I think it was 1 a day. So I could go to like 30 movies. Yeah. I could go to 30 movies in a month. That's like $300. And I'm paying $10 a month?
Dude, who was the idiot that would
$5
continue?
It was $5 a month.
Who was the idiot that continued to funnel money into that business?
I don't know.
He had to have had
how-
deep pockets because there's like, who financed this? I mean, just the
Well-
business model itself it's unsustainable.
But
right?
it's the gift card business model, where like the reason people they sell gift cards and how they make money on gift cards is by people like not using them. Like you're hoping people don't use them.
Right.
So that was their idea. Was they're like, people probably like, they probably did some like audience research, like market research, that they were like, people go to maybe one movie a month.
What idiots? That's
Probably.
like it's like people go to the car. It's like they have those car wash passes.
Like if I have the unlimited car wash,
yeah, I'm
I'll
going
go
literally I
every
go
week,
almost every
week.
day. Yeah.
I'm going all the time. But if I have to pay every time,
Yeah, no
then
way.
maybe I'm going like once a month. I can wash it myself.
That's
whatever.
probably the question they ask people. It's like, how much do you go to the movies? They're like once every 3 months.
That's
They're like,
exactly what they
oh,
said.
well, here we go. Look at this.
Perfect,
We're
yeah.
making $3 off every subscriber times 4 over the course of a year, $12 per user. But they didn't realize, like, no, if someone can go once a day, I would probably be going twice a week, which means I would be giving them a net loss of like
They're losing like $70 on
At
you
least.
a month. Yeah, it was so funny, and I think so. Streaming's definitely the future, and I think you've seen that every channel now has a streaming service. Every like company like Warner, Time Warner,
Comcast,
Disney,
Disney.
everybody has a streaming service, and the numbers on like Disney Plus specifically are insane.
Do you think they drive Netflix out of it?
No, because
Netflix just raised their prices to $18 a month. Did you
for
hear
the
about this?
base package, the base package is $18 a month.
Base package I think is 16, and then you can get like 5 screens or whatever is like 18. So to be able to use it by a family, it's $18 a month now.
That's crazy, because Disney right now is $6.99 a month.
And they'll price it up for sure. They'll bring it up
So
to 10. They'll bring it up to $9.99 by the end of this year.
No, so they announced that next year it's going up to $7.99 a month.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know that's what Netflix started out as? Now it's
Yeah.
almost
It's double
18. Right. It's literally doubled that. So I don't know. Like Netflix has really good original content. Isn't that kind of a weird thought though? Like Disney, for them to be making the sorts of money they need to finance all of these new projects,
But-
they literally have to be betting on Disney Plus, because there is no way, with the kind of year they've had.
But think about this. Disney Plus has 100 million subscribers
Already.
Their best estimates they hope to reach 60 to 100 million subscribers by 2024.
Wait, so you're saying they already have 100 million followers?
They already have 100 million subscribers.
Holy shiza.
So
That's a lot of subscribers.
$7 a month times 100 million,
Those are pretty gross numbers.
$1 billion a month just from Disney Plus. They paid
Almost.
$12 billion they paid $4 billion for Lucasfilm. $4 billion for Marvel. So in a year,
They got Lucasfilms for steal.
you just cash.
How did they get it for that cheap?
Because it wasn't worth that much.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I guess probably, yeah, the shareholders, like what they actually took home, $4 billion is probably reasonable. I don't know. I mean, you got to figure though, they grossed off the last 3 Star Wars films alone almost that.
Yeah, they did well, but part of it is like you have Disney. Like Disney's the biggest.
You don't think Star Wars would have been hyped up that much if it had stayed with George Lucas? You don't think they would have reached those sort of ticket sales?
Maybe. I don't think it would have happened if. I don't think like the sequel trilogy would have happened if it had stuck with George Lucas. He wasn't planning on doing it. after the original trilogy, he wasn't planning on doing
So
the prequels.
the price point was more of he was just done with Star Wars and
It was like, so I have this thing. It's not worth it. I'm not going to generate anything extra out of it. So it was worth it to him to sell it because I'm sure he still retained a pretty large portion of it.
Do you think it bugs him? Do you think anything, like when Disney makes a big hiccup with the Star Wars series, do you think he looks at it and he goes like, that's my baby?
He's probably separated himself from it a little bit, but
Really? You think your life's work is that?
So
if that was me, there's no way. I would be so bitter.
I bet it bugs him, but I mean, we can get into a little bit, compare it, but the Percy Jackson series?
Yeah.
So they're making one of the other things they talked about is they're making a TV
Did you hear
series.
that movie or series or whatever it is receiving more funding than not all of the, but any of the Marvel shows? Did you hear about this? Do you know what I'm talking about? It's getting more money than any Disney project coming up in the next year.
I hope so.
This Percy Jackson, is it a series or a movie?
Series. It's a series.
How good were those? Sorry to interrupt. Those movies are so good. Okay, go on.
The movies?
Yeah, I loved the movies. You didn't like the movies and the books.
This is
too.
story. This is the story that I was going to tell you. The author of the books. They sent him the first script for the movie.
The Disney movie or the old movie?
The old movie. He's writing the new series.
Yeah, he's from Utah.
He's directly.
What's his name?
He's not. He's not from Utah. He's from.
Oh, I'm thinking of what's the other guy?
Brandon Mole, probably. There's a
It's
million young adult writers from Utah.
Similar concept. It's like a blue cover. He would always come to our elementary schools, and give us signed copies.
Is it
Richard
Michael
Paul
Vey?
Evans?
Richard Paul Evans
Yeah,
is the
you
author.
know who I'm talking about. I was
Yeah.
getting confused. Okay, go on with what you were gonna say.
But so he, they sent him the first copy of the script, and he's like, "This isn't my book.
Really?
This isn't my book. Like I will rewrite the script for you guys. I will completely rewrite the script for you guys." And so he offered to do that, and Fox said no, and he said, "Okay, I'm not involved anymore." To this day, he hasn't seen either of the movies because they were that bad.
Brutal.
Because they were that bad.
Really? You think George Lucas is like that?
So I don't know. I don't know if he's like that. I'm saying maybe he's like that. Maybe he's not. But to be fair, where did you? I want to look up this report about that series getting a ton of money. That's cool.
You've got to look at it.
That's cool. I'm excited. That's as much as I love Star Wars and Marvel. That's the thing I'm most excited about.
Really? Wow. I mean, for this year, I'm probably in the same boat, other than maybe The Mandalorian. But next year, it's going to be the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, because I love me some prequels. I can't wait. I'm
excited for that too. That's going to be
Hayden
fun.
Christensen coming back
as Darth Vader.
Bro, we're going to freaking see Obi-Wan and Darth Vader clash. We're going to see... It's gonna be gross, man. We're probably gonna see more of Luke Skywalker,
and we're gonna be here on CTS Pop Culture to talk about all of it.
Gross.
So excited, yeah. It's gonna be so much fun. These next 5 years, probably.
Next year is gonna be the best. This year is gonna be good, but next year, as far as content goes,
I guess this year, next year. I don't see them stopping, because to me, it's only going to net them money.
Yeah, I mean,
to produce that.
I mean, financially, Disney has no reason to stop. It literally would not make that financial sense for them to just stop Star Wars unless they were banking on like another 5 or 10 year break and then bringing it back and just having a giant moneymaker.
We will have. I mean, think about The Mandalorian. I don't know how close you followed, you looked at stuff on YouTube, but every week there were probably thousands of hours of content about each episode of The Mandalorian. They're going to have a show with that level of audience reaction, a new episode come out every week for the next 5 years. It's thousands of hours every week of free press, free people talking about your show. I bet every dollar, I'm sure they've done an analysis, but I bet every dollar they invest in a project like that nets them like $5 or $6, like, or something crazy. Like,
Probably.
I bet it
Yeah.
nets them a ton.
Probably. I mean, especially with the Mandalorian, really, if you comparatively, doesn't cost that much to produce.
So, which, yeah, I think they said like 10 million an episode.
It's a lot, but
But think about a movie.
right.
Think about a movie that's in production for however many years.
I mean, Endgame costs how much? Like hundreds of millions. Like,
Well, between marketing and everything, they probably spent like $500 million on it. $500 million. They
dang.
spent. So if they spent, even marketing budget for the Mandalorian wasn't $100 million, but say, like, this is crazy, but say they spent $200 million on the Mandalorian. How many? I mean, they make. So we already said $700 million a month.
Right.
From subscriptions.
And how many people are keeping their subscription just
Because
for
of the Mandalorian? How many? So for 2 months, so $1.4 billion because of the Mandalorian. Seems like a pretty good return on investment to me.
That's just stupid money.
What's your for the next year? I mean, there's kind of the main ones, like you said, Obi-Wan. What's your kind of outsider pick? Like something that you think, I mean, a lot of people are excited about a lot of these things, but something maybe less anticipated that you're excited for?
I can't remember. I can never differentiate the two, but Rogue Squadrons, right? That's
Rogue Squadron. I think that's not until 2023.
Oh, so we're talking about 2021.
2021, just this calendar year.
Oh, it's got to be the Mandalorian. I mean, there's not really. Oh no.
That's getting pushed to 2022.
Is it? So it would be the Boba Fett series, but
Yeah.
that's probably not gonna be my pick. It's probably gonna have to be the Bad Batch because it takes place during Order 66.
The Bad Batch is going to be cool. I think, kind of in the same vein as you, I'm so excited for that What If series, the Marvel one.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be so much fun. That it's just so different than anything we've seen before.
I hope the series are as good as the Mandalorian in production.
I think they're going to be. And what's really cool, so they did that stagecraft thing, right? Like they call it the volume, where it's like the basically big, the big sound stage with the screens, the LED screens.
Insane, yeah.
It's cool. That's gonna revolutionize production.
I've heard people complaining about that. Can you believe that? Like, people will say, "Oh, it looks like a green screen. I can tell that they're using that." I'm like, no, you can't. Unless you're literally like up like 4 inches away from your TV, critically analyzing each and every pixel. No one can tell the difference. Have you seen those TikToks of people like?
I saw one that they were wrong. They said, this is so obviously in the volume. It just makes me mad that they won't like film on location. And then that Disney Gallery came out, where they kind of go behind the scenes about the Mandalorian. And the thing that the TikTok was talking about was filmed on location.
No.
I was dying. It was funny. But they built 3 more of those around the world. And what that does is it makes production so much cheaper. It lets you do movie level like production for.
Why would they do them around the world? What's the benefit? Why wouldn't they just do them in the United States, where all the actors, most of the actors are from?
I don't know if that's true though. I think and it's because so that you don't have to, because what if we're filming in California and we want to film in a jungle on location? Instead of flying to Japan, what if we're filming in Japan?
Right, yeah.
And flying just maybe an hour over to some. So I think it's just to spread that out, to make production. You can get to more places. There's one in London where a lot of actors are. A lot of that will kind of cover Europe. I think there's one in Australia too, which gets you New Zealand and a lot of places to film. But it's going to be cool to see. I think things are getting – it's going to be a good next few years for entertainment, because I think they've realized that they need to compete with. Because how many people have moved away from traditional entertainment to just like YouTube? Because
Well, I mean, the cable industry is dead. Almost. It's hanging on by its teeth.
I was watching Northwood's Law. You heard that
I've
show?
watched that show.
Yeah, Northwood's Law, and all of a sudden an ad pops up for Discovery Plus. Every channel has a streaming service. Every single one. I mean, we're both big soccer fans, Premier League. We complain about Peacock all the time
That thing's
because
a scam, though.
we can't watch half of our games because they're on a streaming service. But it's crazy that that's the future, and we're seeing super big steps from companies that they're going to invest in that future.
Yeah, cable is gonna die, just like radio's dying. It's a whole shift.
How crazy is it that, I mean, even in our lifetimes, the difference between, like, you might watch like network shows, right? Like primetime network shows. Like
Maybe, yeah.
10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
But
think of The Walking Dead.
yeah, that was a big one. Even like, I never watched Game of Thrones. I didn't watch Game of Thrones. I don't know. But
I never have you ever watched it?
Mm-mm.
Dude, I watched I was going to get into it. I was like, okay, I need a new series. I might as well just hammer this one out because I've heard such good things. I watched that. I have seen some brutal, disgusting stuff on TV. I watched that first episode and I was like, this is like not fun. Like, this
Yeah,
is not
that's what I've heard.
This is not like a fun series. Like, maybe if you really are just wanting to be a sad person, you could watch Game of Thrones and enjoy it. But I watched that first episode and I was like, wow, because I'm going to spoil it. I'm going to tell you. In the first episode, you're introduced to this like little boy character who's like fun. He's like happy to be around.
Doesn't he get pushed out a window?
He's like, the talk of the town. He climbs up this castle ledge with his wolf pup, and he stumbles upon a couple that were engaging in acts that are not not to be discussed. But the woman comes over. No, it was the man comes over, and he looks over and he turns away and he's like, well, I didn't see anything. And then the guy just comes over and shoves this likable character. And he just falls. All you see is him falling. I didn't even watch the second episode. I don't know if he dies or not. I think Lucas told me he was in I think he like became paralyzed or something. And I was like, why would you give us this character?
Yeah,
have us start liking him and then just destroy him. Like, that's so weird.
But it is crazy that we're gonna get. I just can't even imagine how much good content there's going to be. There hasn't been a brighter outlook, I think, for fans in a long time, at least in our lifetimes. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
I agree.
It's going to be a good year.
Well, should we wrap up
this one
first
up.
episode of podcast?
Pop Culture, CTS Pop Culture. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share. Have a good time if you liked it.
Bye.
Bye.
Jeez. 4 hours later.